Good day, everyone. Welcome to USTP and welcome to our class orientation for Math 1 to 1, Engineering Calculus 2. I am your professor, Engineer Handel de la Serna Magnanao. So, just a quick show of our university. So, I've been there in the campus that was in 2019, but after that, because of the pandemic, I was not able to come back yet. Okay, so as mentioned, I am your professor. I am Engineer Handel de la Serna or D. Magnanao. I am an ACE, EE, and also Master of Engineering in Telecommunications. So I belong to the USTP College of Engineering and Architecture, CDO, and this is my email address if you want to contact me via email. So this is my background, as you can see here. I finished my Master of Engineering in Telecommunications at the Asian Institute of Technology in Thailand. And also, I am a Master of Science. I get a Master of Science in Teaching Mathematics, 42 units, at the University of Cebu, Cebu City, uh, and Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering and Bachelor of Science in Electronics and Communications Engineering, both of these courses at the Cebu Institute of Technology, Cebu City, now called Cebu Institute of Technology University. So before we go to the details of our course, I'd like to review everyone about the vision of the University of Science and Technology of Southern Philippines. So the vision of the university is to be a nationally recognized science and technology university providing the vital link between education and the economy. And for its mission, it, to bring the world of work industry into the actual higher education and training of students, offer entrepreneurs the opportunity to maximize their business potentials through a gamut of services from product conceptualization to commercialization, contribute significantly to the national development goals of food security and energy sufficiency through technology solution. And USTP CDO College's mission and vision, you can find here from this link for its details. So College of Engineering and Architecture has this very nice statement: House of the Risen Legends. The character describes the future great engineers. So it's a nice one, class. Okay, so you just read through all this, and let's go directly to the articulation of mandate of the USTP. So the USTP exists to contribute to the economic and social development of the country through human capital formation and knowledge generation and application by number one, providing advanced education and training in critical areas in science, technology, engineering, agriculture, and mathematics, and establish centers of excellence in these areas in order to strengthen the university's sphere of influence. Number two, conducting basic applied and advanced research in various fields of specialization. Number three, creating a seamless environment for research and teaching, as well as experiential learning for the students and faculty with the involvement of the business and industry, thereby eliminating skills mismatch of graduates. Number four, providing timely and relevant technological solutions to pressing industrial and societal problems with the involvement of faculty and students. Number five, assisting in the development of the of technopreneurial undertakings to propel economic enterprises at the grassroots levels. Number six, leading the establishment and creation of new science and technology rooted in the practical solutions to global problems. And we have the USTP, we have uh, four core values: unselfish dedication, social responsiveness, transformational leadership, and prudence. I know that this was already discussed to you when you were just in the first semester in the university, but now I'm just reading it through just to have a little review for you. And graduate attributes, we have innovative thinking, critical thinking, resilience, empathy, teamwork and collaboration, communication skills. So these are the graduate attributes that USTP want to have our students, so that when they finish their studies at the university, they will be equipped all of these graduate attributes. Now, personally, I would like to have my students to take note of this motto. So I want my students to adapt adapt this two very important things. Remarkable, ethical. So I want you to have um, these two things, very important thing: remarkable and ethical. So I want you to adapt this class. So how to become remarkable? So you need to be pumped and be ready to learn when class begins. Be prepared. So when you say be prepared, to have materials with you and know due dates. Be a polite and positive participant. Speak in a normal tone of voice when we are having our synchronous class. When you want to speak, so speak in a normal tone of voice and listen attentively. Be productive. So it means that turn in work on time and always do your best, and be a problem solver, no, not a problem maker. So correct problems quickly and peacefully before they escalate. So that's how to be remarkable. Then ethical. When you speak of ethical, it involves something like, for example, honesty. So if you have read this nice statement class from one of the well-known organization, it says, "Be honest, even if others are not, even if others will not, even if others cannot." And as you can read from the Bible in Proverbs chapter 10, verse 9, it says, and I quote, "He who walks honestly walks securely." All right, this is a very important thing about being ethical. So it involves this thing about honesty. So to be ethical, so you need to value yourself, no? Be honest and ethical, and practice strong moral values. So I know that there are things that are uh, acceptable to us, but not acceptable to others. So it depends on your background, your culture, and many more. So treat everyone not only in the class but everywhere with politeness and respect. Honor and respect the ideas and opinions of others, and offer help. If you are capable of extending help to others, you may do so. Be a responsible student, especially during this new normal time. So it's not just that you are there just to ready to receive everything that your professor is giving you. So you have to be responsible. Take note that um, your failure to pass this course is not solely because of your professor not giving you everything, but partly because of your uh, being irresponsible. Okay? Responsibility for coursework. So make sure you have the following. So make sure you have the following in place before the class begins. Since we are in a new normal and connectivity, internet connectivity is very important. So you need to have all this. Okay. So apart from all these technological things that you need to have, you also have to make sure that yourself is ready. Okay. So of course, technologically stable internet connectivity is also needed in our class because of these online classes. Of course, although it's an online classes, you still have to have your lecture notebook, to take down things that are very important out of our discussions. I may speak about important concept that is not written in one of my lecture notes. You have to take note all those. And of course, ball pen, pencil you need for your writings, and you need a calculator. So calculator is always needed class, so have it all the time with you. Paper, of course, you need to do something when you are asked to solve some problems, so you have to write it down in your notebook or in your paper. Textbook references, this is optional. I will give you materials for our lectures and also some links to my video recorded lessons. Responsibility for coursework. Keep yourself updated to know due dates and class announcements through USTP or in our chat group, in our Messenger or Facebook chat group. A student who fails to comply all the graded activities, that is, reading or reading assignments, readings, assignments, quizzes, major exams, modules, or module assessments, and for the entire content of the course missed, regardless of the reason, is held responsible for his or her failure to obtain a numeric grade at the end of the semester. Because if you're not be able to comply all those requirements, you will get a provisionary grade, that is P, and you will be given 1 year to convert that provisionary grade P into a numerical grade. And there are two possibilities class: numerical grade, a failing grade, or a passing grade. So it depends on your performance. Classroom rules. So since this is not a face-to-face, you may still refer to your student handbook. And I'll give you details on this later on. But during our synchronous online sessions, you need to be reported, or you will be reported for any misconduct, unruly behavior, disrespect, and unnecessary disruptions of our classes during our session. So no interference of any kind is allowed. So phones must be kept silent at all times while we are still in sessions. A student will be given a P or provisionary grade if the set passing average will not be met, or if a student failed to comply all the course requirements. What will you expect from me? I will do my very best to provide you with the most relevant learning materials, resources to aid your learning journey for this semester. So I normally upload recorded videos just for those who were not able to attend the class, to have it studied by themselves. Or if you miss something, you were not able to understand everything that I was talking about during our lecture, you may review the video lessons. I will upload this in YouTube and you may access them anytime you want. I will be available anytime you're in need of my help regarding our course lessons. I will work with you to meet learning goals, and I will offer extra help should you require them. Now for our course, so these are the basic information about it. So we are in this college and engineering architecture department. So the course title is what we call the engineering calculus 2. Our course code is math 121. So the credit for this course is 3 units. It means that it is equivalent to 3 hours lecture. Prerequisite is math 101 or math 111, no? Calculus 1. Co-requisite none. Consultation schedule we have Monday and Friday 2 to 3 p.m. Actually, you can contact me, you can message me anytime you want before dawn time. Building and room, since this is not face to face, so we'll use Google Meet. And for my contact number, you can reach me through this 0977-846-0252. No, for urgent concern only. But for those basic ones, you just send a message to our GC. Now for the course description, this course, Math 121 or Engineering Calculus 2, is designed for undergraduate students in engineering with a prerequisite of a standard course in differential calculus. This course covers the basic definitions, terminology in integration, power formula, and other integration formulas. It covers applications of integration to areas, volumes of solids of revolutions, centroids, moment of inertia, fluid pressure, and work. Now for the course outcome, we have four course outcomes. Number one, properly carry out integration through the use of fundamental formulas and or various techniques of integration for both single and multiple integrals. Number two, correctly apply the concept of integration in solving problems involving evaluation of areas, volumes, works, and force. Number three, sketch three-dimensional regions bounded by several surfaces. Number four, evaluate volumes of three-dimensional regions bounded by two or more surfaces through the use of the double or triple integrals. Now for our course outline. So we have here in this column the allotted time period, course outcome here, corresponding course outcome, intended learning outcomes on this column. And we have here the topics on this column: suggested readings, teaching, learning activities, assignments, task tools, then grading criteria, then remarks. So since this is not face to face, so we may remove or exclude this board work and also sit work. So we have just homework or assignments. All right. So for our topics, so first session, so this time we will talk about this general orientation. So the policies which we are now discussing, uh, discuss the main objective of the course. Okay, so I think that is related to the description of the course. And in our week 1 to 4, so these are the intended learning outcomes do you want to have from you. So number one, familiarize integration concept, integration formulas, and to counter-check anti-differentiation by its inverse problems. So this can be achieved by studying all these topics about anti-differentiation, simple power formula, simple trigonometric functions, logarithmic functions, exponential functions, inverse trigonometric functions, and also general power formula, constant integration, and definite integrals. And suggested readings. So, and calculus by Leithold. So this will be in chapter 13. Okay, so calculus 7, Leithold, reprinted in 2002. Okay, so we'll have some exercises afterwards. Then we'll have a quiz. And then in week 5 to 8, so this is more on the course outcome number 2. But in terms of intended learning outcomes, so we have here the intended learning outcomes: familiarize different integration techniques, identify and choose appropriate techniques to find the general antiderivative of product of trigonometric functions. This will be achieved by discussing these topics: integration techniques, integration by parts, trigonometric integrals, trigonometric substitutions, rational functions, and rationalizing substitutions. And again, this is still in chapter 13 of this reference. So these are the activities that we are going to do afterwards. And in week 9, we will have our midterm examination. Then right after midterm in week number 10 to 14, so we'll discuss about course outcome number 3. So the intended learning outcome is to deal with several integration applications with deep concern to engineering sciences, then solve problems using integration on different applications. Right, so applications we have for the topic, we have these improper integrals, plane area, area between curves, volumes, work, hydrostatic pressure, and force. And still, we'll be in this chapter using this uh, reference book. And these are the activities. And in week 15 to 17 before our final examination, so we have here the I will talk about the course outcome number 4. And the intended learning outcomes for this CO4 is to familiarize and convert coordinates from one form to another by relating the polar, the cylindrical, and rectangular Cartesian coordinates. Then identify and sketch the graph of certain equations in polar form. Okay, so this will be achieved by discussing these topics: surfaces, multiple integral as volumes, surfaces, tracing, planes, sphere, cylinder, quadratic surfaces, double integrals, triple integrals. And same reference book. And these are the activities. And then in week 18, we will have our final examination. Okay, now for the course requirements. Uh, Here is the number one. So I elaborate number one here. So number one, ACAS attendance and participation policy. So attendance refer to student handbook, but for my details for this part, so class attendance and participation policy. So the students is highly encouraged to obtain a free Microsoft 365 account for students or some other available online platform for online classes that can be used for free if applicable. So in our case, it was discussed with my students in the last semester that they opt to use the Google Meet. So we will meet every synchronous session using the Google Meet. Students are highly encouraged to be present in all virtual class sessions. If the students cannot access the said online class sessions, the recorded session will be made available to the students through email or by personal walk-in appointment with the instructor if needed. But since I live in Laguna, so I cannot do this one class. Students could use the computer premises inside the campus if permitted. You just check every now and then, class, if you can enter the campus because of this restriction nowadays. Regardless, the students is expected to keep up with the discussion. So no matter what, you were able to attend or not, since you're provided with another source, so you have to do your best so that you will not be left behind. Sorry. Taking a lecture note is an integral rule of every student, as well as studying and participating in virtual classes. So you are all encouraged to take note during our synchronous sessions. Students are given the chance to pass the assignment and sit works week after the virtual class. No submission, therefore, no submission thereof are considered late and will not be accepted. For quizzes and exams, the students are given the chance to comply until the next class session. No submissions thereof are considered late and given a mark of. So it depends, no? We can be flexible on this one. Then for PIT and other projects, the students can pass any time before the end of the class semester. Failure to do so would also mean a mark of 0. But in my class, I normally ask students to submit their PIT before or a day or two before the midterm exam or a day or two before the final examinations. So the instructors are allowed to create and or adapt new policies as the need arises to accommodate the needs of the students depending on the current circumstances. Now for course reading materials, so we have here the Calculus 7 by Lighthold. Okay, so these are the authors of this textbook. Uh, and we also have the Calculus with Analytic Geometry by Tarman S. Peterson. So this is the one that I used during my college days. This is a very nice book also. Supplies needed, of course, calculator, software, so workbooks or just notebooks and so on. Since we have no face-to-face, so we don't need these equipments. URLs for online resources, just any online resource that will supplement your learning. I will also provide that. Assignments, assessments, and evaluation. So A, policy concerning homework. Normally we give 6 homeworks or assignments in a term or less. No, it depends on the situation class. Policy concerning makeups. So you just refer to your student handbook. Policy concerning late assignments and requirements. Well, we are flexible on this, but I am very, very strict on the PIT class. If I'm flexible on this one, but for PIT, I'm not really flexible for PIT. Preliminary information on term papers or projects with due dates. So late projects will not be given equivalent deduction per hour, or will be given, actually will not be given. So we are flexible on this class. List of assignments that will impact the final grade and one grade and percentage weight given each through assignments per term. So description in details of grading processes and criteria, how many quizzes, tests, papers, weighting of each amount of homework, etc. or the grading policy. So passing percentage is 70%. For the periodic grade, so for the periodic exam, we normally give 30%, quizzes 40%, performance tasks 20%, others 10%. If you have uh, some evaluations of assignments or anything that I want you to do during synchronous classes, you have some additional points for that, and that is equivalent to 10%. Now for the grade, so midterm equal to 50% CO1 plus 50% CO2. For the final is 20% of CO1 plus 40% CO2 plus 40% CO3. But since we have 4 course outcomes, so we may vary it in this one. So it can be 40% CO1, 30% CO2, plus 30% CO3. So take note that 50% of midterm plus another 50% for the final term. So that's total of 100%. But take note that this is subject to change class. Date and time midterm final exam. So this is also to be announced. Then for use of virtual platforms in class to distribute course materials, communicate, and collaborate online, post grades, submit assignments, and give online quizzes and surveys. Now for the rubrics, so we have here 20% of item score. If this is what the students do, students simply give an answer, correct or not, without showing the appropriate work. Okay, or problem has two solutions, no clear mark on which is to be graded, may as well be awarded a score of 0. So this is for this column. Now for item score, this column, it can be 40% if the student attempted the problem and did not finish it. Students failed to use the governing question or did not follow the instructions given in the problem. For 60%, so student attempted the problem and did not finish it. Students used the governing equations. However, student did not take the problem to completion. So you will have 60% for that. Then if the student's work is for the most part correct, there may be an arithmetic error or problems with the format of the answer. Then work is clear and easy to follow. Then it will be graded as 80%. Problems that require the use of variables have no explicitly defined variables. And lastly, if the student showed all the required work to arrive at a correct solution, work is clear and easy to follow. Problems that requires the use of variable have the variable explicitly defined. So in this case, you will have 100% for your exams. Now for the textbook, we have here Stewart James, Calculus, Concept, and Context. Okay, so this is from Singapore, Cengage Learning Asia PTA Ltd. Now for references, so we have here a lot of references class, so it's on you, just choose any one of them. They're just talking the same thing, but they differ from their way of understanding of the subject matter. Now for important schedules, though it is tentative, but it's worth noting class that our prelim exam will be in the 6th week, that would be March 7 to 11. Take note, this is just tentative. For our midterm on the 9th week, March 28 to 31, 2022. And for free finals, so this will be in April 25 to 29, 2022. And for the final week, we have at week 18. So this will be on May 23 to 27. So this is 2022 class. So this is 2022. I forgot to change this. Now for the grading system. So academic performance of students shall be evaluated and graded at the middle and at the end of each term in accordance with the prescribed grading system. The instructor shall be the sole authority to determine and give grades of his or her students in compliance with the BOR Resolution Number 31 S 2018. The grading system shall use number grades in multiples of 0.25 from 1 to 5, where 1 is the highest and 3 is the lowest passing grade. More specifically, the grading system of the university shall be as follows. Okay, so from this table, Its requirement in the course, a 70% mark shall indicate the minimum passing performance. A student in the course who obtained a final class standing of at least 70% shall be considered to have passed the course. The final grade will be based on his or her final class standing based on the table below. So these are the conversion class. For example, if you average is 97 to 100, belong to this range or domain, so you will have a grade of 1.0. All right, so you just read this through. You may refer this in the future, and I'm not so sure if there are already variations in this, but so far this is the table that I used in the first semester and also in the last 2 semesters last year. Now for incomplete INC, we will not give that one this time. We will only give this div, withdrawn, or OD, officially dropped. Since, as I mentioned, we don't give INC this time, so we'll just skip this part. Withdrawn, a mark of W. Withdrawn is given to the students who voluntarily and officially withdraws his or her registration. Drop with failure, DF. A mark of DF, drop with failure, shall be given to students who drop the subject without permission of the instructor concerned, and or when the student exceeds the allowable number of absences. A mark of DF is not equivalent to a failing grade of 5. So for the provisionary grade P, so provisionary grade will be given to the students who fail to comply the needed course requirements. And for the cumulative grading system, the cumulative grading system is used to or in computing the final grades. In computing the final grades, any of the following may be used as discussed and agreed between the instructor and the students concerned. So final examination coverage, all topics discussed from the beginning of the semester. So the midterm grade is given a weight of 1/3. For the final exam coverage, all topics discussed from the midterm examination. The midterm grade is given a weight of 1/2. Okay, so any questions so far? If you have any question regarding this, you may send it to our GC. So for our mode of learning, though we are asked to do asynchronous learning, but based on the last year's experience, synchronous is very effective. Though we are in online situation, but still that is the most effective one. But there are times that we need to do asynchronous learning. So for this mode of learning, online learning without real-time interactions, students can learn through their own convenient time. So that is asynchronous. Self-paced learning. Learner controls the reading materials, time, and effort to learn the materials shared by difficulty member. Now for our online consultation. So you just send message to our messenger chat group, or you may email me through this official email address from USTP. And for my personal email, so you can use this. Alright, so we have here some important reference. You may refer this also. Okay, so I think that's all. And thank you very much. And I hope to see you in our next session next time.